I know what your answer is going to be, but I want to hear what you have to say. Should the Bulls go after Ja Morant in the trade market?
No, he's poison. He's radioactive. No. You got to go someplace. Silvy, they should trade him if you're Memphis. But there's only a couple of teams you could go to. So I was playing this game with a friend of mine who's an NBA-aholic about 2 hours ago. And I said, so where does Ja Morant go? And he said he should go he said the Celtics. I hadn't thought of that at all. The problem is with salary, you'd have to give up, Jaylen Brown, which I'm not going to do. Or half the team. And I'm not going to do that either. And so Pop is gone from San Antonio, but the infrastructure exists if you were going to trade him for, my man, the point guard they just got from Sacramento.
Were you talking about Trey Jones on the Bulls?
No, Spurs. For the Spurs. The Spurs have the infrastructure.
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. If you were going to make that. But De'Aaron Fox is a model teammate and citizen. So who's desperate enough to need Ja Morant and his talent, his considerable talent? No. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have that kind of ownership.
Isn't that a bigger issue then?
If
we don't have the infrastructure with Billy Donovan, are they ever going to get the infrastructure?
No. This is not an indictment of Billy Donovan. You have to have people with rings on their fingers, and Billy does have them. But you have to have an authority. Pat Riley for 40 years worth. Greg Popovich. Pat Riley told LeBron to get out. So here's what we're going to have on our team playing. If you don't like it, get out. No, the Bulls don't have that. Neither do the Bucks. Neither does, OKC as a championship team. They don't have that. They don't have that kind of gravity. No, Ja Morant has to go somewhere where he knows somebody will call him in the office and say, you want to fight? Let's go. Let's fight right now. See, there are teams, you guys are laughing at me. So I remember Hubie Brown and Gary Payton once had a fist fight getting on a bus when they were on opposite teams. The NBA is different. You don't have a locker room with 50 guys where 4 guys sort of police it, and you have a guy who's 6'7", 300 pounds, who you're not going to fight. That's not that sport. It's not that culture. You have to have some authority. Could you have had him with Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan? Yes. But Michael famously, one of my favorite Michael things is you cannot have 2 fools. You can have 1 fool.
Right.
I'm like, what does that mean? It was great. And Michael would say, you can't have 2 fools because then the 2 fools can get together and recruit other fools. Yeah. It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant. And by the way, did the Bulls live by that? Of course they did. So they didn't have fools. They had 1.
Dennis.
But he was also maybe, if you listen to all the guys, including Jordan, the smartest guy on the team. So you can't, no. The Bulls don't have that. The Bulls are trying to get to the playoffs.
Here's the only thing, the only counter, and I agree with everything. Look, his off-the-court stuff is terrible, bothersome. His dip in production is not good. Him being a bad teammate now is not good either. The only thing I'm a fan of is buying low. And I remember Kyrie Irving was untouchable. Nobody wanted Kyrie Irving. You had to hold your nose and make a bold move. He fell out of favor with KD.
Very persuasive case.
This is all I'm saying is you will never get a guy of this talent at 26 years old and this talent at a lower price. And on a team,
you make a persuasive case.
So like, KD didn't want
to give up the whole team.
No.
He makes $50 million.
No, what about a Kobe White for Ja Morant straight up deal?
Kobe didn't make enough. He gets not straight up.
He's going to.
He's good. No,
you throw Vooch in to balance the salaries.
Kobe's going to be what's that?
You throw Vooch in to get the salaries, but
no, you can't aggregate. You can't aggregate anymore. You can't. That's
you can't add it up.
No, and I hear you. Listen, you make a persuasive case.
That's all I'm saying is there's been many NBA players who at one time was considered trash, and then all of a sudden a team buys low on them, and they're back.
Well, but then the problem with Morant is you have to build a whole team around him. Kind of like you were building a team around Derrick Rose. And the other thing, he gets hurt already a lot. because of the same size. He's the same size as Derek. And those guys played so hard, and they were such acrobats. They were above the floor, and you're like, oh, my God, they hit the floor so hard. And Ja Morant's already missing. Ja Morant's never played 70 games. Never.
Yeah, I know.
So you got that problem. And here's another problem. You just signed Josh Giddey, who's getting triple-doubles. So what are you going to do with Josh Giddey? Because you don't need them both. They can't both have the ball. So okay, so let's just set aside your reasoning because it's superb about buy low. But all the other problems, Silvy.
Yeah, I know they're there. They're there for sure. Look.
Oh my God.
That's why I think it's an
Including
interesting.
he doesn't shoot the three.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't, and I could take that because neither does Josh. He shot it pretty well the night. We had 4 of them. So Tommy, being in locker rooms and talking to guys, there's 2 guys who have failed miserably so far for different reasons. One is a sweet, sweet, sweet personality, and one is radioactive as far as I'm concerned. But Zion and Ja, they should be right there with SGA, maybe ahead of them. They should be leading their team, small market teams,
so true,
into serious contention because they are that talented.
Zion's hurt again.
And they can't do it.
Yeah.
They can't do it. And by the way, I said Miami, right? Because you got Pat Riley, you got Spo, you've got Alonzo Mourning. When I say infrastructure, I don't mean just one. Billy Donovan by himself can't handle that. Pat Riley, Zoe, the whole Spo, the whole Miami Heat coach. Do you want Ja Morant on South Beach?
No,
you don't. So even there, if they're thinking about it, and somebody's got to pose it. They're just a brilliant organization. You're thinking, oh my God, do we want to turn him loose down here? Him and his father?
No.
Is Chicago have that issue? No, we don't have that issue with having him there. I just think that the Bulls, listen, I said to you guys all summer, I think the Bulls are onto something. By onto something, I just mean building something with some of the right characters. Do I think they're going to win tonight? No. I think they're just teams that are better. I thought it was a great win to beat the Knicks. A great win. And I knew they were going to lose 2 days later because that's the way the NBA is. I think they're going to lose tonight because the backcourt that Philly's got is unbelievably dynamic with those 2 players. But I can't wait to see that game and see how they react. And what's the latest on Kobe? What is his latest?
He's still a week away.
Is that with the cat? With the
I think
cat?
so.
Okay. It's hard to figure out what we've got in full until we see them with him, and the dynamic changes whenever you add somebody who needs the ball. And Kobe he ain't no ball hog, that's for sure. But he still needs it. He needs shots. He needs usage, or he's going to have usage. But they're onto something. They play together. They move the ball. They seem coachable. We'd have to ask Billy and Quiet about that. But I bet they are coachable. And by the way, Ayo is a marvel coming off the bench. He's as good as most any guard. I'm not saying he's going to be 6th man of the year. I don't care about that stuff. But that kid coming off the bench gives you some of everything, including defense. And the other night when he did not play, you knew Jalen Brunson was going to go wild because there was no Ayo to even put on him for possession.
Yeah, and he's out again tonight, so keep that in mind. So,
and against that backcourt, that's another reason why I don't see the Bulls winning.
All right. Michael, great stuff as always. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Mike.
you.
All right, you guys.
Really good stuff today with Michael.